Hey there, gorgeous. My name is Melissa, and I am also known as the Taropist, and I am going to be your tarot card reader. Guys, we are going to do a full-sized love reading today for the collective. So this may resonate for any placement of any zodiac sign at any time, and it can be anywhere from single to married and anywhere in between. I am going to go into a little bit of an introduction about myself and the channel, some personal readings and things like that. For those of you who have heard it all before and would like to jump right into the beginning of the reading, or those of you who are just not interested in hearing it the first time, I will leave a timestamp in the pinned comment below. So you will be able to just click on that and jump right into the beginning of the love reading. For those of you who are interested in knowing a little bit more about myself and my channel, again, I am the Taropist, and anything that you would ever need to know about me or the channel, you can find either in the description box below, the channel description, or my community tab. You can always check out my website, guys, which is www.thetaropist.com. I am currently closed for the Zoom and FaceTime personal readings. However, I am still available for the email and pre-recorded readings, and any information you need about those will be listed in the description box below as well. There is also an email address that you can email me at if you have any further questions on those. Now, the personal readings, guys, are going to be the only way to guarantee that I pick up on your personal situation. However, if you're unable to or uninterested in a personal reading, but you'd like me to be more likely to pick up on your personal situation in my collective readings, then do make sure you are engaging with the channel in as many ways as possible. Some really easy ways for you, by the way, this is to make it easier for me to pick up on that energy of yours, okay? We are reading for a collective audience, and not that there's a whole lot of you out there. There are more than a few. So if you would like me to be more likely to pick up on your personal situation, then some easy ways that you can engage with the channel are by liking or commenting on any of the videos or the community tab posts. Excuse me. You can certainly always share any of my content and my personal favorite. And I think the most powerful way for me to be able to pick up on your personal energy in my collective readings is by you hitting the little subscribe button below. If you are going to subscribe to the channel, guys, and you'd like to be notified when I do upload or go live in the future, then do make sure that you are put your little notifications to all, okay? Interesting stuff. I can't with this guy today. He's making me mad. Okay, he doesn't really matter. Both can wear pink. And let's get after it. He. Do she's have antlers? I don't think so. I think it is a guy. I think they're all guys. Interesting stuff. Reindeer all have antlers. Oh, you guys, let's not talk about stuff like this right now. Okay, get it out of here. Okay. I didn't go over the structure of the reading, but we are going to start out with these dream guidance love messages and to get an overall vibe of the relationship that we're dealing with here. And then we're going to go into your energy in the first column, the person you have on your mind's energy in the second column, and in the third column we will get a potential outcome. Now, again, because I'm reading for a collective audience and I am just picking up on energies here, you are always welcome to reverse the roles from 1 and 2, because again, I am just picking up on energy here. If you feel like your energy fits more in the second column, that's you then, baby. And if you feel like theirs is more fitting to the first column, then that's them. But I'm going to refer to you in the first column. And then we do have a potential outcome here. And because I am just picking up on energies, guys, the outcome is in a collective love reading is always potential. I think in all readings, by the way, I think in even personal readings, there is a need for us to take action in our physical reality in order to bring some of these situations in. And of course, sometimes the action that we are being asked to be taken is no action at all and waiting for somebody to come towards us, especially if we've made a clear effort and there hasn't been any reciprocation. You're going to have to discern in your life what is the best action to take, or if no action is required. Okay, let's get after it. I wish things could be different, and as always, it does feel like, okay, you're going back to your original space, sir. Whoop. Whoop. That's beautiful. Right where you were meant to be. I can feel it. Looks like you're peeking around the tree and stuff. Okay, I did lie to you. Well, I don't like this person already, or maybe it was you, and maybe I don't like you. I'm just kidding. I love you. I love everybody, but I do dislike some behaviors. I feel you even when we are separated. Now that we're separated, um, are you happy without me? Alrighty, and we are not meant for each other. Sounds like a clear sign here. Hmm. Well, guys, I'm going to read it anyways, but it does feel like this is a situation that we might feel very drawn to, but it isn't meant to be anything other than usually inspiration for us to do the healing that we need to do. Don't quote me on that, because don't leave just yet, because there is the potential that somebody's in a karmic connection and they're not meant to be with the we're not meant to be card. Okay, but let's find out more. And of course, again, they may be in a karmic connection, or you may be in a karmic connection, and because of that, the person um well, we'll just find out more. Okay, because we just don't know yet who's feeling that way. So we have the Page of Pentacles in your energy. The Page of Pentacles is a card of, I want to say, studying the other. So I did get the Six of Pentacles first and then the Star card second. So we're going to take it like this. And then we do have the Nine of Swords in the overarching energy. So I will get into all of these. We do have this, I want to say the Lover's card is right under that, and it did want to peek out. And I always look at the second card anyways. It is a major arcana, and I do think it is relevant to this situation, because sometimes when there is a divine counterpart connection, there certainly have been many karmic connections on the path of each divine counterpart. And sometimes the divine counterparts come in and meet each other and one another when the timing isn't exactly right, but to make the other recognize that they are in a karmic connection or something like that. And we're going to get more, because I know people get a little frustrated with the fact that this always comes through in my readings. And I'm certainly not here to break happy homes up. However, I do love empowering people to let people know that they have a choice and a right in their life. And just because they said I do to somebody, maybe previous to knowing the truth of that person completely, sometimes we jump into marriages very quickly, or before one or the other or have evolved. And when we evolved, we no longer aligned with the other or something like that. However, if we are in a situation that is holding us back or even bringing us backwards, the divine never wants us to be stuck in a situation that is causing misery. Okay. So please know that about this lifetime. That no, working your fingers to the bone until you feel like you're going to die is not what the divine wants for you. And no, people remaining connected and committed to a situation that does not treat you well or does not fill you up or feed you in any way and only takes from you and drains you. The divine never wanted us to stay committed to that, even if we said I do. And to be honest with you, the divine never really wanted us to say I do necessarily. Okay. Commitment should be more of a feeling rather than a contract or a piece of paper. And anyways, the Nine of Swords in the over, well, I want to talk about the Lover's card, because the Lover's card is a need to choose with our heart here. And all of those items that I just spoke about are when we're choosing to go with what we've been taught rather than what we feel on a soul or heart level, okay, or emotional level. And while I think some decisions in our life shouldn't be based on emotion, love should be. Okay. Love is one of the things that I think should be based on what our heart is telling us. And because when we don't listen to our heart, we end up in this energy here. The Nine of Swords is a very painful energy. It talks about a need, of course, to surrender to the divine, the outcomes of things. And then, of course, a need to make choices. It's like, where are you contributing to your own misery at this time? If you're not happy with something in your life, change something, either your own mindset or the actual situation itself. For instance, if you look around and you're not happy with your body, and you're happy with that person's body and they look good, and these people are working real hard to have those bodies, and you can do the same thing. So sitting in a situation that is making you miserable, whatever that may be, including a relationship, because you feel obligated to it because of what this, societal conditioning has made you believe, is not strong. It doesn't make you strong. It doesn't make you responsible or reliable or loyal. It makes you disloyal and betraying yourself. Okay. Unloyal and disloyal. I don't know which one's the right word there. And betraying your own happiness. Okay. So who's doing that? I don't know, because all the energy is pretty decent here, but we're going to find out more. It does feel like there is a karmic connection involved, or there was a karmic connection involved, or let's find out more. Let's just see what we got here, because we are not meant for each other. And then there is this energy of somebody feeling rejected or feeling like they can't have something that they desire or that their heart feels very connected to. So, and by the way, I want to say that whoever feels this way did not even communicate very clearly. It looks like you may have communicated, but we're not, or you need to. They're asking you to communicate more clearly about your real feelings here in the third dimension, not just thinking about it, not just hoping that they can read your mind. There is always a need. If you want something in your life that, bad enough, you're going to need to take the risk that comes with it. Okay, so a risk of breaking your heart or looking foolish, or let's say this being unrequited or one-sided or something like that. But you assuming all of this and not doing anything about it is actually what is creating this feeling of worry, fear, and misery. Okay. So yeah, any suffering in our life is really a choice. So we do have the opportunities in life to take action towards or away from anything that we're currently in, any part of our life, to try to give ourselves a better shot at this life or a better life in general. And with the Two of Wands, you can see that he's holding the world in his hands. And it's like the world is literally at your fingertips here. You get to make the choices in your life. You do have that power. Nobody is actually holding you back, no matter what society is trying to tell you at this time. You do have just as much of an opportunity as everybody else. The only person who can tell you different is actually you. And even if the world is telling you differently, but you believe you can have better and you go for it, you will get it. Okay. Oh, baby. So I do think it's you. That's the one not being communicative. Is they're asking you to communicate and take action towards a situation that you feel like you're not good enough for, is the energy that I'm getting here. And if I get the Eight of Swords, I won't be surprised. I got the Two of Swords, though, which is a similar energy. It is about not taking action because you're afraid of the potential obstacles here, or the potential heartbreak. So we have the Two to the Three of Swords, which I always read the Two of Swords right before the Three of Swords anyways in all readings, because it does give that energy of you see the person is blindfolded, and it's like they think they can't. It's like their fear of the potential obstacles. They could just take off the blindfold and cruise seamlessly through the waters, but instead they're afraid to um run into things that are going to break their heart, like a love connection. That So even if there is no karmic connection, and if there is a karmic connection, I am getting that you are the one in it, or we're in a karmic connection here. um but again, it felt like the fear of what the world was going to think of you, or the fear of having a broken heart or getting your heart broken here. And I don't think with the person that you are currently with or were with is what I'm talking about here, but I do think this is you saying we are not meant for each other. It's like you finally realize the person that you're with never really aligned with the person that you wanted to be, and you thought the person that you wanted to be was just a dream or a fantasy or something like that. I love your person's energy, by the way. And this isn't the person that you're currently with or worse recently with. This is somebody else. This is somebody who I think you ran into and made you realize that there's more to life than all of the things that we've been taught mean everything. Money, material world items. I'm not saying that those things don't make things easier, by the way. And what people say when they say money doesn't buy happiness, it means if you're miserable and in a miserable situation, I don't care how much money you have, you can't buy your way out of it. You need to make choices to leave those situations, to do what's best for you. And again, the only way that we really do find true fulfillment from within is by making these choices that are very difficult. They're unfamiliar, they're terrifying even, but we know they're for our greatest good, or they will benefit our life. So your person has the Six of Pentacles, which is a card of generosity, a card of reciprocity. And I want to say that you've been involved in situations where you were the main provider. So you could definitely be the masculine here. But I want to say that you chose people before you even got to know them on I want to say fundamental, but a foundational level. You didn't get to know the contents of the vessel of the person that you were dating. You just saw the outer package and were very wowed by that, I want to say. So there's something about maybe this person doesn't fit into physical. I don't think they're unattractive, by the way, but there is something about them not fitting into a physical. I don't know where even getting that, the world here, maybe, but they could be of a different ethnicity or a different race or a different age group or a different religion, or from even they could be at a distance here. There's something that seems foundationally not like what you would normally choose, but they made you feel things that you've never felt. So there's something interesting about that. And I do want to say that they're standing out to you, a very attractive person, by the way. So I do think they're physically very attractive. And by the way, that could have been a thing where you went for people who were not very physically attractive because you didn't feel like you were worthy of keeping someone who was, and you think you have jealousy issues, so you kept choosing people. But the reality was you were choosing people, whether they were physically attractive or not, you were choosing people who didn't have a substantial content of character. So these were people who weren't very good people. So these people were proving that even they would hurt you or would use you or things like that. So now this person walks into your life. They're physically very attractive, I want to say, with the Queen of Wands here. And I want to say they're also very exuberant, very charismatic. They draw a large crowd. They attract a large audience. And you feel inadequate in their presence. However, when love is parent or when love is present, not all of that literally goes away. And you'll hear people, including like love coaches that get paid a lot of money to teach on love, that would talk about how the physical attributes of someone are very important. And when you find out what real love is, you realize that they actually mean nothing when you have a real connection. So that doesn't mean that your partner isn't physically attractive, but it does mean that that isn't what you're attracted to. Okay. And by the way, when they gain 20 pounds or something like that, that isn't going to, when you love somebody and you are truly connected to them, you're not going to leave them when they lose 20 pounds. However, if you're with somebody for the wrong reasons, certainly that would be more of an important thing. Again, I don't see this person gaining any weight, but I do want to say that that's something that is being communicated out here online a lot of the time, is that when somebody doesn't keep up their appearance or keep their if they for instance, if the business all of a sudden goes under, if you're with somebody who loves you, we're going under together, baby, and we're going to climb out together too. A real partnership is genuine in that way, and we love each other with or without all of the benefits that come with the other. There is just a genuine, true, divine counterpart connection here. So your person does have the Tower card. So, and I want to say that maybe both of you were involved in karmic connections, or maybe it was just your partner here, but no, it does feel like you were as well. Or I want to say at least you were involved in a lot of different situations that you chose for the wrong reasons. And again, I want to say you like consciously, maybe not consciously, inadvertently, subconsciously is actually the right word that I'm looking for here. Subconsciously chose people who you thought were under your league or beneath your level, because you didn't feel like you were worthy of having what you truly did desire in this lifetime. And again, physical attraction is going to be there whether or not the person is what's the right word? Traditionally attractive. That's not the right word, but that's what I'm talking about. So I hope you understand what I'm saying there. Conventionally attractive. So I do think this person is conventionally attractive, but I do think that you chose people that had things that were somewhat conventionally unattractive about them, because you felt more secure in keeping them. By the way, when it's love, you don't feel the need to manipulate a situation like that naturally, innately. So, but I do feel like you're feeling insecure and unworthy of this person or this taking action towards this person. Now, it might be because they were in a connection, by the way. And it also, I feel like, I don't know that they are anymore with this Tower card. It does feel like they're going through some huge disruptive. Of course, the Tower card does represent the planet Mars, which we know rules over the signs of Scorpio and Aries. And the energy of Mars itself is about action. And the Tower card, because as you can see, everybody's kind of like jumping out. The tower is coming down. Comes into our lives when we have a bunch of lack of substance in our lives. So we have a bunch of connections, let's say a lot of frenemies, a lot of fake friends, a lot of fake relationships, a fake marriage, And what does this mean? These are all things that are based on external sources or external validation, things that don't come from a true and genuine soul connection, which I think that this connection that we're talking about here has. Again, when there is a true and genuine soul connection, there usually is not a real simple let's get together. So when a connection like the ones you were in before, the one this person was in, come into play, it's like, ooh, they check all the boxes. This is going to be easy. We make it happen, and we just do it. When a divine counterpart connection comes into play, there are usually a lot of, I want to say, rubble to clean up from all of the bad decisions that we made in our lives that were based on things other than a true heartfelt decision here or because of true connection. And this doesn't just mean marriage, by the way. This could be all of the things in their life that they had around them that were creating or causing them to stay in a lower vibration or a lower frequency. I want to say this person is a very generous person. And I feel like the both of you have given a lot in your lives. And that doesn't mean we're not taking, by the way, because nobody's innocent in a situation where we are being used. There was something that we wanted from them bad enough to allow that using to occur. Okay. So learning how to discern who is and isn't, and people will just say, well, I had no idea they were using me. But yes, you did. There were very clear signs. People who are using you are not that slick. They might be slick enough to keep you get you into the connection, but to stay in the connection, they started shooting red flags all over the place. I want to say in the connections you've been in the connection they were just recently in. And we tend to start to ignore those red flags because we already feel like we are connected, or I want to say not connected, but attached. So now we have things that we feel like we need from this person. And at least, if nothing else, the familiarity of the situation. So you found a soulmate here, somebody who really stands out to you. And I want to say somebody who feels like their presence just heals you, heals your soul, brings you back to a place where you want to feel joy again, or you just do feel joy in their presence. It's like, yeah, I'm getting like this excited, but they are a very exciting person. So their energy fuels you, it feeds you. And this is, by the way, a good way of knowing if you're in a connection that you're meant to be in for the long haul or not. And a connection that's just draining you and taking. And by the way, I'm watching them like have you do project after project for them, project for their friends, all kinds of different projects here with very little to no concern about your well-being, if you're okay, if you've gotten enough rest, if you've eaten enough, if you're happy. Seems like you're feeding none of your own like joy center items, and you're continuously doing favors for this person or these people, and you always felt so drained by relationships, and you started to think that this is what relationships are, and that they're just hard work and constant work, and they can be, but the work should never be like literal physical labor for them and others. Not saying you can't do favors for the person that you love. I think you should, and I think it should be out of a place of love, and you want to take care of that person, not out of obligation, and you know this person's going to leave if you don't continue to do what they ask you to. Okay. And then we do have the Six of Swords at the base of the reading. We do have the Nine of Pentacles. So ultimately, they're talking about the two of you learning how to be more independent so that you can be interdependent with one another. And again, when we end up in a lot of different codependent situations where sometimes somebody is siphoning our energy or our resources, whatever that may be, either our love, our attention, our projects, you doing a lot of work for this person. I am watching you like hammering and doing all kinds of different projects around the house. And again, a masculine energy who's handy. This is going to be something that no matter what, this is something, it's a part of the protector and provider. However, if your own joy isn't being cared for, or if you're not being taken care of in the same way or in different ways, but in the same respect, then you are in a one-sided connection or a lot of, again, unrequited situations. And I want to say, again, you kind of dumbed down your taste for these people and then they disappointed you. So you think that real love can't be good, right? Or something like that is the energy that I'm getting. And I want to say that this person came into your life. They were very exciting. They had a lot of energy. And they made you feel good. I want to say they complimented you and you hadn't received any of those in a long time. And I want to say because the people that you dated wanted to make sure that you didn't know your worth so that you continued to do what they asked you to do or needed you to do at the time or felt like they needed you to do. Unfortunately, there are a lot of relationships out there like that. And our men in the world tend to feel very used for their abilities, and women too, by the way, for different reasons. Of course, sexual desires is something that women feel very used for. And in a love relationship, the sexual chemistry will be very powerful, so that you'll never have to beg the person that you're with for time in the bedroom together. This is something that you can't wait to get home to one another to do. And similarly, you don't, it's like you're not going to have to beg the real love of your life to do a project around the house that's been sitting there for, because he wants you to live in a comfortable home where things are working properly, right? So give and take. There's a lot of reciprocity available to you in this connection here, but it does require that the two of you walk away from anything that is no longer serving your greatest good or feeding into your greatest life. Okay. So with the Six of Swords here, it does talk about that. And there could be a distance between the two of you, but I think there's been definitely a separation or an emotional distance between you and this person because there was a breakup going on. And they are saying that there is a need for you to start to feed the things that do mean something to you outside of this relationship that you are hopeful for. And I do think the relationship will be very successful. It looks like a soulmate connection here. And with the star card and the potential outcome, it talks about something that is going to be like, there's a kind of a meme or a quote coming through, and it's like, sometimes the most healing thing is being proven that all of the connections, I'm going to screw this up. I'm going to try to find it, by the way, when I get off, and I'll put it in my community tab. But it's something about sometimes the most healing thing that will happen to you is just proof that the relationships that you had previously, that there's better out there. Okay. So something about the way that this person will just love you. I want to say unconditionally, but there does need to be an equal amount of respect, but unconditionally, meaning that, no matter if you're falling off in your business, no matter if things are getting a little rocky in finances, the love is there. It's innate. It's there because the connection is real and the love is real. And you're not going to feel like if you fall off, you're going to lose the love of your life like you have in other relationships. Well, if I stop feeding them the resources that they're here for, they're going to leave. And that is true. And I think they have, by the way. So your fear of getting your heart broken again or getting used again, I want to say, is even more extreme than it's ever been, because this person means a whole lot more to you, or the connection feels a whole lot stronger to you. And I also want to say that you think this is like a dating up situation or they're out of your league, but I want to say they're not. They're right on your league. They're in your league. They're on your frequency. But there is a need for you to raise your frequency at this time by doing things that mean something to you, that are meaningful. This can be charitable things. This can be going out in nature, getting your palms of your hands on trees, your bare feet into the ground, jumping into a large body of natural body of water. Definitely eating nutrient dense foods, and maybe finding out, getting a health checkup and finding out what nutrients you might be deficient in. Certainly vitamin D3 and K2 is always a good one. But getting you back, okay, getting back to your place of power here, so that you have, again, it's like you because you have been whittled down or beaten down, you may not be on the right frequency for this connection at this time, but your actual frequency, your core frequency, the frequency you were meant to live on, and the person you always knew you wanted to be, is on the exact same frequency. So looking at this person, by the way, I want to say, looking at this person, you're literally looking in a mirror here. It's very twin flamey energy. This is somebody who has everything that you also have to offer, but you have forgotten about who you are, or something like that, or you've suppressed who you truly are because of all of these situations that have really done a number on your mental, physical, spiritual, and emotional health. Okay. So yeah, getting into the gym is another thing they're saying, or getting out and exercising is actually going to be much more beneficial for you. But if you're a gym person, getting into the gym and feeling good about yourself, eating healthy and getting all of the bloat out of the way, or whatever this is, I don't know what this is. Something like that is going to make you feel adequate, or like you are on the same level as this person. Or even if you do still put them on a pedestal, I think that's okay. But I want you to know that just as you are, this person adores you. They love you and they do want to spend the rest of their life with you. They're going through their own situation right now where they're kind of breaking down and seeing what's real, what's fake. What was meant to last, and of course, what was built on a flimsy foundation, or what was built on um, a fake premise. I don't know exactly what that means, but that's what's coming through. And I hope this makes sense to you. Ultimately, communicating clearly and getting into a place where you feel comfortable doing so is going to be absolutely mandatory for this connection to come in. If you've made it this far, go ahead and hit that like button, and I will see you guys in the next reading.